All right, on this episode of Bare Knuckle Bowker, very excited to be talking to an individual who's going to be participating in BYB 30 and very excited to take in his upcoming fight. We have Reffell versus McCann, and that goes down on August 17th in Cardiff. And great having Martin Reffell back on the show and on Bare Knuckle Bowker to talk a bit about what he has going on. How are you doing there, man?
Yeah, I'm going well. Camp's been really good. Everything's good. Just finished a day's work, but off to training tonight for the last few sessions. Got fitness tonight, sparring on Thursday. Yeah, camp's gone really well, to be fair. Got a few more things to do and finish up and hone, but everything's good.
Yeah, no, it seems like a good time for you. Like I saw the relatively recent post about the contract extension you have with BYB now and everything. So yeah, no, seems like a good time.
Yeah, so BYB offered me a fight contract. Um, and it's the way forward. There is no more BKB. I've always been loyal to them. They've always looked after me, and this add-on, oh cheers, man. This add-on to the contract just makes it better for everything. So better for everybody, better for the fans, better for the fighters, more potential to travel. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I've already done BYB once, so I kind of know how it is and what it is in that ring, or the Mighty Trigon as they call it. So I'm quite looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's cool. I was actually going to touch on that with you, just like BYB acquiring BKB. I'd kind of got the sense that you were, I guess, just kind of adapting through everything. And I guess, like you said, maybe made easier by the fact that you've already competed in one of those cross promotional shows before. So, good to hear you're adapting through everything that's kind of happened with BYB acquiring BKB.
Listen, yeah, I'm gonna miss the BKB rules. The square ring, how tight it was in there. The fact it was boxing only rather than the clinch. Um, the setup that BKB had was brilliant. So I am gonna miss that, but it's not gonna be much different changing over to BYB apart from the rule set, 3 minute rounds, 5 round standards, and the clinch work. And we all know that realistically the clinch work suits me better. So yeah, it's all moving forward, and it's only going to get bigger and better for the company, for the fans, and for the fighters themselves.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if you've maybe, I guess, done anything differently heading into this, return to BYB, because I'd remember I saw a post-fight interview you did where you were like, yeah, the Trigon kind of gave me more troubles than I initially had thought. Like, is that just a thing where now you have the familiarity and you'll be able to like adapt to that much easier? Or like, has there been something you've done differently, I guess, in the preparations for this
Yeah.
one?
So the BYB, it shocked me the fitness that it drains out of you in the clinch. So for this camp, I have done a lot of Muay Thai training or Muay Thai, however you want to say it. I've done a lot of MMA training, not the groundwork, but the clinch work, the dragging them about, the the leaning, the holding, the things that drained me on the last fight. I've kind of worked on building the stamina for that. And a lot of people say to me, "Do you do a lot of running?" Listen, I can't stand running. I can run and I do my 3 miles that I need to do, but I hate it. I'm always blown out, but I can do 10, 15 rounds in the ring, no problem. So I've been doing a lot of clinch work. I've got a guy, Liam, he's been coming over from Milton Keynes. He's fairly new sparring partner, but he's really been offering me some proper clinch work, and he's ready. And hopefully we see him in BYB up and coming soon, because he's really helped me with the clinch work, and he's down for that kind of fighting as well. So that's been some real good um, training. I went to Banbury Mixed Martial Arts Gym, went to a gym in Birmingham as well, just to help out with the Muay Thai and the clinch work there. So yeah, I've done a lot of work around that, and I've worked hard on building that stamina for it. But yeah, when it comes to the actual clinch fight, I'm quite clued up on the inside dirty fight, and I'm not shy to that.
Yeah, that's cool you're getting in that, I guess, like cross training, one could say, because I feel like I've known you to get in work at Peterborough Boxing and Fitness as well as Respect Fitness over the years.
Yeah, they're the two gyms that I've been working at, and I always work out of consistently. My coach comes from Leicester. and Peterborough Boxing Fitness have always opened their doors to me. I help train and teach people there as well. But yeah, I've just had to kind of expand to find new talent to work with and work against, to increase my knowledge of that kind of fighting style.
Yeah, no, for sure. Shows that you're, I guess, like studious to it. And like we were talking about too, probably something that was gleaned from the first time you'd fought in the, BYB competitive space. But I guess something that I'm kind of curious about, because just with the crossover and everything, I always kind of wondered what might happen with the belts and everything, just because you had captured and defended a BKB championship in your last outing in March. Like, is it a thing where it's essentially dissolved now? Is there like a separate like BYB Europe title that you have now, or are you kind of just within the hierarchy of your division through the company at large, I guess?
Yeah, do you know what? I'm not fully clued up on this as yet, and as time will go on, it will obviously become more clear. But from what I'm understanding, I'll forever be the BKB British title holder. It's not changing. It's not go. I've got the title sat on a shelf here, and I'm going to be the last one holding it because no one else is going to be able to fight for it. As for new titles, I'm not sure on how they're going to go about it. I'm pretty certain that they just want the one title to make it more of a thing to fight for, and it's going to become a ranking system. But like I say, I can't be precise on that because I'm not part of the promotion team and the management team that deal with it. But from what I can tell, it is definitely a ranking system. So I kind of all the BKB fighters kind of slot in and fit into the BYB. Depending on how many fights, how many wins, and there'll be a ranking system to fight for that world title in the Police Gazette. It'd be nice if they had a European title. But from what I know, as you say, my title has been dissolved, but I'll forever be that last British title holder. So that's something. And if they bring out a European title, that's cool. But to be fair, my last fight was a world title eliminator against Rolando. And obviously because of the buyout and the crossover, Barrie Jones is rightfully meant to be fighting for that world title. And LT smashing Barrie is the fight that everybody's going to want to see. I want to see it myself. But I should have got a world title after that defense. So, hopefully that world title comes up sooner rather than later. But as I've said from the start, I'm not in this for the titles. It's nice to fight for it and be shown, but I'm in it for the love of the violence and the love of the sport. And BKB promotions have always looked after me, so I'm sure BYB will do the same. And as it's Jim and Joe still working, I'll be looked after just the same as I was before. So I'll take any fight, anywhere, any person, as long as it's a good fight and a war through. I'm not really bothered.
And like, what are your thoughts on that Barrie Jones versus LT Nelson fight that headlines this card? Like, a lot of people have been understandably giving it quite a bit of attention. Like, do you have some thoughts on how you might see it playing out, or are you more going to watch it from like, I guess, like a peripheral kind of way? Like, obviously you're focused on this fight, but once the dust settles on your fight, are you kind of just going to be sitting down and taking it in as a fan? Because kind of like you alluded to there with like the, I guess, title dynamics, like it seems like you're kind of just in it for the love of the game in a certain sense and the pursuit of
Yeah.
competition. So how are you looking at that main event fight at BYB 30?
Um, do you know what? I'm looking at it as a fan. To be honest, I've always been a fan of Barrie Jones. Personally, I thought LT Smash lost to James Kennelly. Um, I think Kennelly beat him. I've watched the fight a few times, and I still think he beat him. Barrie Jones is the next level. It's somebody I've always wanted to share the ring with, and go up against, win, lose or draw. I think that would have been a cracking fight. Um, I think Barrie will take the fight. I think LT's a strong lad and he's good at what he does, and he's a nice guy. I spoke to him out of the ring and spoke to him before a fight, when it was at crossover, and he's a great guy. Sorry, but yeah, I think Barry's the next level above him. And I think LT smashes him for a damn good surprise. He's a confident lad, and I think he'll go into that fight thinking he can win. But yeah, Barrie Jones is next level. He is next level. And, you know, even if I was to fight Barrie Jones myself, I think it's one of those fights that I'd be very cautious with. And I think I'd have to up my fight training completely. I'd have to completely change the way I train. It's a fight I'd say take. No, I wouldn't say no to no one. Win, lose, or draw, I'm not bothered. But yeah, I think Barrie is still at that level where he is pretty much unbeatable. But this is bare knuckle, and then that's the difference. This is bare knuckle, and anything can happen within a split second, and that's what makes it exciting about this sport. Because Barrie could be winning every single round and picking it and popping it and picking, and LT's just got to grin and bear it and take it and take it, and then all of a sudden, bang, Barrie could be down. It could be. That's what I love about this sport. So yeah, personally, I think Barrie wins it, and I think it's going to be an exciting fight. But we'll see on the night. I'll definitely be there watching.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the breakdown. I mean, you're a guy who's been doing great on the bare knuckle circuit for a while, so definitely had to get your thoughts. But I mean, the fight you have coming up is an intriguing one. Like, what are your thoughts on what your opponent brings to the Trigon here, Ryan McCann? Because you guys have a similar, mutual opponent in Jonny Lawson, and he's 2-0 on the circuit. Like, what are your thoughts on just what he's been able to do so far in his relatively early bare knuckle run, and just what skills you may have seen from McCann so far?
I've got a lot of respect for the lad. We met at the media day. I liked what he can do in the ring. He can move, he can box. But I hope he's been training for this Trigon, because from what I watched against Jonny, he doesn't want to fight. It was a very, very, very tight, close fight against Jonny Lawson. Some people said Jonny could win it. And I think the pressure is on McCann, because I know what's coming. I know what I bring. I can pretty much see what he brings. I hope he brings something different. I hope he brings absolutely everything, because I don't want to come out of that ring thinking that he's not giving it all. As I say, it's going to be one hell of a fight. I know exactly what I'm going to do, and that Trigon is going to suit me to the ground for it. It's going to be a tough fight, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've been looking for this fight for a few weeks now. It started to get excited about 3 or 4 weeks, and that tingle's just not going away now. It's a week and a bit to go, and I'm buzzing for it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess just you talk about hoping that he's preparing for, competing in the Trigon, like just based on the familiarity that you already have with that space. Like, do you ultimately think that'll be the big difference maker? Like, it kind of seems like you're almost like looking at that as like a, maybe like put the pressure on him in that active clinch, and maybe kind of like wear him down and potentially, put it on him more so in the later rounds. Is that kind of like what you're thinking in a certain sense?
Yeah, I think the 5 rounds, 3 minutes. Um, sorry, I've just been interrupted. Hey, darling. Can I say hello? That's right. Can I say hello? Hello,
Hi.
Tara. Say hello. Say hello. Yeah, so I think I think the Trigon's going to be another level for him. And it's one of those rings that unless you have been in there, it's hard to train for. Like when I first went into the Trigon, I tried training for it. We tried cutting down the ring into a triangle. We tried putting a ref in there and just kind of putting someone in there with us. We tried pacing out the actual measurement of the ring. We tried the 3 minutes, the clinch. But it until you've been in there, and when I went in with Ryan, a tough lad, Ryan Jett, it's unreal, because these boys have been doing it for a long time. It's what they know and what they've been in. And yeah, that really kind of took it away from me in the first couple of rounds against him. So I think that will work in my favour. But it is 5 rounds. It is 3 minutes. So he has got a lot. If he can withstand that first barrage and the second barrage, he has got that chance to kind of adapt and work in there. So if he's a fighter like me and can adapt, it's going to be a really good, tough fight. We all know what I can bring and what I can take. Not much has changed. I've not had any injuries that have weakened any point. You know, I'm ready to go, and there will be war and there will be carnage, as I always promise, and it will be entertaining.
Yeah, and you mentioned Ryan Jett. I mean, he's someone who very much been a proven guy in the, BYB Trigon before, and, since the fight that you guys had, he fought Cub Hawkins last time for that light heavyweight title and is right in there with like a high level super middleweight fight now, fighting someone who just relatively recently fought LT Nelson, actually just kind of tying everything together there. Like, you're obviously squarely focused on this fight, but is that Jet fight something that you would, kind of like to run back in the future as well? Or is it kind of just like, if it happens, it happens?
Listen, if it happens, it happens. I know he can bounce between the weights, and he was a lot heavier than I expected him to be. Obviously, he made weight, but wow, do they know this? And that's another thing. We've got the 24-hour weigh-ins. We've never done that. We've always done day off weigh-ins.
Yeah.
So that's an advantage that the Americans obviously do have against us. So that's something we're working on this camp as well, to just try and sit a little bit higher, come down in weight, drain, come back up in weight in the day. So, it's a lot of things we've got to adjust for. And I didn't do that in the last BYB fight. So I kind of just sat at my normal weight like I normally do, come in, weigh in on the day off, and then just eat nicely on the day that we had spare. Again, it's something Ryan's got to adjust to as well. So us UK boys have got to kind of find a feet in that. But yeah, if me and Ryan Jett run again, it'll run again. But I'll be ready next time. And the guy, he gets like steam train. So yeah, like it'll be a good fight, and I'll never say no. So if it happens, it happens. If it don't, I'll move on to the next one, because I wanted the rematch with Scott McHugh as well. Another one that I lost, and I haven't had that one yet. So if rematches happen, they happen. But it's about moving forward and taking that path that the promotion offers you, and keep going where they send me, basically.
And we've touched on a couple of these points throughout the chat too. Like, I mean, obviously I admire all of the bare knuckle fighters, but I think there's really something to be said for like the BKB fighters, even in some of the prior crossover shows before the acquisition, like some of the BKB guys that were, stepping in there with the BYB rules, because in many regards, it's ultimately like a different game entirely, because there's that active clinch component, and like you said, the difference in the weigh-ins methodology day before versus like day of. So just really interesting to see all of that and just see some of the guys who've done that before. And I guess going forward, it'll be kind of interesting to see how some of the, I guess, newer guys adapt to it. Like maybe some of the guys from BKB who didn't have that previous opportunity to fight under the BYB rule set in some of those crossover shows. It really is a different game in a lot of regards for people who don't like actively follow the circuit. I think maybe they'd heard, oh, BYB acquired BKB, big move for the industry. But in a lot of regards, it really is like a different kind of game.
Yeah, it's 100% a different game. It's bare knuckle. It is what that is the similarity, and that's pretty much it. From BKB, it was three round standard, 2 minute rounds, 5 rounds for British title, 7 rounds for world title. But they were 2 minute rounds. You got a 20-second count, day off, weigh in. It's completely different. BYB, triangle ring, 3 minute rounds, 5 round standard. I don't even know what their title 5 rounds are. And then you've got the 24-hour weigh-in. That makes a big difference. If you can work out that 24-hour weigh-in, it can add on a lot of weight. Like, I know people that can drop a kg and put that back on. That's a big difference in a fight. People might not think it is, but it is. On a street fight, you can fight someone twice your size and lay them clean out, but they might not know how to fight. They might have been drinking heavy. They might not have no fitness to it. Right? There's loads of things that can make that happen. But in a ring, you're fighting someone that's exactly the same as you, that's as professional as you are, trained as well as you are, if not better, and you are trying to take each other's head off. So it makes a big difference. And I think the BKB lads, I think a few of them have done pro before, or they've done amateurs, so they know how to drop weight and put weight back on. But for me, I've never really done it. I've always sat at the weight I need to be. Hello, Pudding. You back again? Bye, darling. Bye, sweetheart. Be good for me.
Have you got the gym key? Sorry.
In the car.
I'll get it.
So yeah, but darling, I think it'll be interesting. But I do think the BKB lads will adjust to it well, and I think it's going to be really good for the future of BYB.
Yeah, and I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't get some of the insights into, just your life as like a fighting husband, fighting father. Like I always love seeing stuff like that, just like, peeling back the curtain a little bit and just even seeing beyond the fighter lifestyle. Like it seems like that, would drive you so much in this sport beyond your individual desire for it. But also at the end of the day,
Well,
it's the most
between
paramount important thing, their family and all, right?
well, obviously you've got Mr. and Mrs. She fights and she'll be in BYB at some point. She's just come and shut the gate. Mr. and Mrs. So she fights and will be in BYB.
Hey, can you see me?
Yeah.
There you go.
How's it going?
Nice to meet you.
And then we've got our mini KB that you've already seen, who's outside in the sun straight away.
Yeah.
And then her girls, one's Casey dancing in the mirror. we've got 6 girls between us, so that's just 2 of them, and then there's 4 more to add on to that. So between us, there's 6 of us.
Martin's outnumbered.
I'm outnumbered by all of them. They're all girls. So yeah, they are partly reason why I fight. I love you. I'll see you when I get back from Leicester.
Yeah.
So another day today is I wake up, go work, come home, a couple of hours with the kids, and then go training. So I train in, as I say, over at Leicester tonight. I do a lot of sparring. Gym's just around the corner. I have my girls at the weekends. Yeah, it's a busy lifestyle, but you don't have kids to change your life. You have kids to fit in with your life, and we try and fit our kids in with our lifestyle. So when I'm training, some of the kids will be there with us. When she's training, some of the kids will be there. Some will be with me. We have those family times, family day outs. We make time for our girls. We treat them. We take them out. We're taking them on holiday soon. And it's just normal life. It's just fitting in that training, and obviously we eat good as well, so our kids eat well, so it kind of bounces onto our kids as well. The goodness that we put into our lives, it goes into them. Obviously our kids do like all kids like sweets and chocolate. But Tara, we don't feed her nothing sweet. We don't give her no sugar, no artificial sugar, no pastries, things like that. We only give her clean food, and she knows no difference, so she's quite happy. She loves a strawberry over a chocolate bar any day.
Yeah, no, I love that, man. Like, I guess, I mean, it seems like they're kind of at an age where they would understand what you're getting up to in a comprehensive enough way, large in part. Because sometimes I'll talk to fighters where their kids are almost like too young to really perceive what's going on. Like, what do your kids think about what you're, getting up to as a fighter? Because I feel like the temperaments can kind of vary sometimes. Like, sometimes it's like a bit of a, oh, my dad can beat up your dad kind of vibe. But sometimes they're like, oh, I don't know that I want to see my dad out there fighting. Like, let me know you're good after the fact. Like, where are they kind of at? Like, do they kind of vary amongst the kids, or what would you say about that?
All my kids support us. All the kids support us fighting. They know it is what we want to do, and it's my eldest would say, well, I don't have a choice whether I wanted you or not. You'd still do it, and it's one of those. But she always supports us. She's there at most of my fights. All my youngsters love it. The only one that kind of doesn't understand it fully is Tara, but then she knows no difference. So Sadie was in the corner for 2 of my fights fully pregnant. Tara's been to every single fight bar 2. She's only missed 2 of the fights, so we get Tara because she's ours. We get her involved, and we want her to know that kind of lifestyle. So she knows no different, and she enjoys it. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen any of the little clips that her mum puts up. She'll put gloves on. She'll come to the gym. She'll train. She'll try and do a core with everybody. It's something she's always known. So yeah, it's as I say, it's not having kids to change. It's having kids to kind of have them involved and get them to enjoy what it is we do.
Yeah, and it must be just such a great. Sorry, there was a bit of a lag. I was just gonna say it must be such a great mutual thing, just that you and your partner kind of understand the ins and outs of being on a path like this in bare knuckle. Like, I feel like you would be able to really like support each other in the most optimal kind of way as you're both kind of growing and living this life that you're talking about.
Yeah, she's always been there. We met through a boxing gym, and she knew I was a fighting person. And then when I started bare knuckle, she could see the love of it in my eyes. And I said to a friend, it won't be long before she does it. So we both have that passion, and it makes it a lot easier. And it's about supporting each other through a camp. You know, we've both done it. We've decided we don't really want to be in camp together because that does become difficult. So you know, it's about me having a fight. She'll have a fight. If we get an opportunity to fight abroad, we'll probably go into camp together because you know we'll both go abroad. But it's just about work, life, family, and balance. What everybody does, you know, everybody should do it and should know how to do it. And we've got it to a T. To be fair, we have got it to a T. We have our moments, but I've got a lot of love for that woman. I know she's got a lot of love for me, and we've got a lot of love for our kids, and we just want the best for them. So that's what we try and do.
Yeah, it definitely comes across, and I appreciate kind of getting that, like I said, bit of a peek behind the curtain, just see what's going on in the Reffell household. And no, it's been great having you on the show, man. I really do appreciate you making the time, but I also want to be mindful of your time. I mean, you got a lot on the go leading into this big fight, but yeah, no, I appreciate you coming on and everything. I just wanted to kind of give you the floor in case there was like a final parting thought you wanted to add as we're wrapping up here, Martin. I do appreciate your time.
No, listen, I thank you for getting in touch. Thank you for having me. It's brilliant to be able to get out there. You know, the only thing I can say is thanks to my sponsors. Thanks to everybody that supports me and that's always there for me. Thanks to my family. And don't miss out the 17th of August. It's going to be one hell of a show. There's some great fights, great atmosphere. Like a lot of people think that fights can be quite rowdy and things like that. It doesn't. It's a lovely atmosphere. I haven't been to one that's really got massive problems. You do get a few drunk people, but don't miss out. It's going to be a cracker. And I promise you, no matter what, there will be blood and I will entertain. That's all I'm going to promise. There ain't nothing else needed promising. I will entertain and there will be blood. So don't miss it.
Yeah, such an important transitional time in the sport, just mentioning BYB having acquired BKB, and I'm really stoked to see this BYB 30 fight. I definitely thought right away to kind of reach out to you after I saw the bout announcement, and this Ryan McCann fight is going to be a cracker, as you said. And yeah, thanks so much for coming on Bare Knuckle Bowker, Martin. You enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing the fight when it goes down as well, man. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks for having me, man.